the only thing that Anna and I had a conversation about at Gecko's. Basically, I was pointing out to her she's got a history background, right?
History background, correct.
Two backgrounds.
History and art history, and then background in writing and rhetoric.
In what?
Writing and rhetoric. So actually, argumentative writing.
Oh, really? Well, then you're the perfect person. You really are, Anna. Anna takes care of your parents, right? Your father.
I do. I take care of my father and my mother.
Right.
I love them.
Well, I mean, how old are they?
They're 79 and 63 years old. I'm 26.
And how are they doing physically?
My father is kind of, taken back in terms of
Getting demented?
Dementia, but my mother is always there to help them, and
You're there to protect
I'm
both of them.
26 years old, only there to help them, and there's nothing more that I can do.
Well, what we talked about the other night, I recommend that since she has a history background and a writing background, which is huge. I have a granddaughter. She's in The point is, you are in a great position. Once you get a hold of this economic thing that many people do not understand.
The entire downfall in the upkeep, if you can call it that.
Well, if you don't maintain what you build, you lose it. Whether it's the entire democratic system or the infrastructure that made what we call modern America.
Before the Reaganomics even came in.
Right. So you already have the grip on this thing.
I remember learning about through our history teachers about how farmers were paid money to make our crops and everything. It never really paid off in the government's ideals, but it always paid off in people who were the ones who made the crops, made everything happen, and happened after the Dust Bowl. After the think about it.
Well, there's another thing. The greatest migration in this country was in 1950 and 1960. There was black people moving to the north.
Oh yeah, you got Detroit. Detroit with all the FBI and everything. That's when everything happened.
But what happened at that time was two things. The interstate highway system allowed black people to get on the federal system to get away from the South. They could not escape the South. The plan was chasing them everywhere to keep them back on the plantation. Two things happened. They call this thing called the soil bank plan happened at that time. What does the soil bank plan have to do with anything? Well, it shut down the cotton fields. Why was it able to shut down the cotton fields? Because people were having nylon for clothing. Nylon came out and replaced cotton. And so the farmer said, I don't need
Polyester versus cotton.
I'll shut down the farm, I'll make money from the government, and I'll fire all the black workers. No more plantation, nobody here to feed or take care of. Send them on their way. Let them go up north where there's other kinds of work. So if they ran to Gary, Indiana, they ran to Chicago, where there's manufacturing. They ran to everywhere like that. Jobs paid better. In the meantime, the national thing about America is we don't want to live next to black people. So we move.
It's like they say, the entire neighborhood.
That's right.
It's, there goes neighborhood. That's not a good thing to say.
What does that mean?
It means, we have people that are willing to do the jobs and take the money that it's least worth. But it doesn't mean we want to put people in that position. Obviously.
Or do they want to live next to black people?
Right. And it's a big composition of do people want to live next to this race or that race, but it is something that happened back in the 50s and the 40s and 60s.
So the American people, after World War II, they ran to the interstate highway system to travel freely and have a car.
When you look at, I-4 these days, it's still the same layout.
From way back in the 50s.
Yes, and it's the most...
It's a parking lot, right?
It's a parking lot. It's a giant parking lot. There's people there that I tried to actually do something in college where I wanted to start a system where helping kids out in that area, but you can't even help them because it's people that just live in this area where you can't help them anymore. It's so financially deficient that as much as you want to help these kids, like I want to do this entire program where you help them and get them like a sponsor and give them like a person that helps them become better than they are and all that. It's even in college. I mean, I was 19 at the time, and you can't just help them. You just can't. You want to try to help them, but you can't because of where they're from. And that shows how geography and economics kind of work together. It's not screw people over.
Well, the soil bank plan really did that. And it did it in 5.5 million people left the South and moved into the North. Many people don't know that. And when they moved into Chicago, they moved into Gary, the white people left the neighborhoods and walked away. I was in Gary, Indiana, and I was visiting a cathedral up there. The whole area was like a bomb had hit. There was no houses, there were just street lights and the cathedral. And for miles in every direction, everything had been bulldozed. The white community left, but there was nothing to live in. So then they would have to come back and put in public housing to let the black people come there. And they basically undid the society in the Midwest in particular, in the manufacturing art belt at that time. And so this was done in such a way that it caused a lot of the riots that happened in the 60s, all of that.
70s, if you think about it, in Detroit, everything that happened over there, you would have people just going into these kind of planned schemes that the government's giving you, and they don't even know about it. These unfortunate human beings are getting imprisoned and jailed because of things that we don't even know they're going on, and they just want to press them. And next thing you know, you're in Detroit, you're in this kind of crappy area, and you get prisoner jailed, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You just grew up where you grew up.
Well, you grow up, but you would basically have this theory got worse in the 80s. That
Right.
when Nixon made the drug laws, made them first against simple pot and made pot a felony.
Pot a felony, and the next thing you know, like you're making everything besides pot. Pot's the simplest thing you can do, which is now so legal. I mean, I can get a medical card right now if I want to. But then you look at things like what the government pushed, which is the problem. The government pushed crack, they pushed all these drugs on people that weren't meaning to sell these drugs. They were stuck in their own pothole, if you would want to call it that. And forcing these people to sell these drugs and just make criminals out of themselves. And that's what's, I think, the worst thing.
We had about 150,000 people in our federal system in 1980.
1980,
That's 40 years ago. And what happened was when Reagan came along and said, no, anybody who buys is no better than the one who sells. We're going to jail everybody for everything. And the population in jails went from a little over 200,000 nationally to 2.5 million, which is where it is today. So we're jailing people today over minor drug use. It's really addiction only, and that's how it should be treated, but we insist on jailing. So we're building more prisons, and hire people to build prisons, and keep people locked up for no real purpose.
You should be giving them therapy, giving them actual reasons to get out of the system. They say probation is this reason to get them out of that, but they just try to get people back into the system because it costs more money.
The reason people go on probation is to avoid going to jail. But it's very easy to violate probation, so it's a trick.
It's a trick question in a sense.
So what the prosecutors do when you're being charged with something, they'll say, well, you want to be charged with this, or this. It's your choice. This is going to give you, we'll give you probation. You just have to show up with an officer, and you can be violated, and you can get 6 months or a
Pay
year.
$70 per show up.
So you have to pay money to the probation
You
officer.
pay $70, and then they give you a random color, and then you pay for random color, test random color. You can see it's from a Nexus of experience. I'm actually about to. I don't want to admit it, but
What you
I'm gonna get to the probation system.
You are in the probation
I'm
system?
going to start it soon
You're starting it.
for DUI, which is
For
something very
DUI.
unfortunate. And I never thought I'd be there.
Really?
It's something that I never thought. Like, I went to school to be a teacher, and it's something that I never thought I'd be part of.
Did you have a lawyer?
Yes, a full lawyer. Everything got talked through Zoom. I never had to show up once.
So, but you got probation.
I got probation, but it's
That's
one of
not
those
much of
things-
an accomplishment for your lawyer.
It's just the thing that I have to go through. I included myself in the entire situation. I told the cop, I was like, hey, yeah, I went to a bar. It was either get a test through your blood or get a, blow. And I fucked up. I blew. I did, and I actually
You took a
regret that. Breathalyzer. I regret it a lot. But I think it's going to work out in my best sense, in the sense that I do get to go to volunteering. I want to go volunteer somewhere else regardless, and I do want to actually do something better for myself than just being a piece of drunken shit. Sorry, like I'm saying it very straightforward. I'd rather be better than a drunken piece of shit. I just want to go out and volunteer and just make a better person of myself, because that one moment where I was so sad made me.
How long were you on probation?
I'm going to be on probation for half a year with
6 months.
6 months, and then eventually be able to call back. But I just think that it's something that I need to do.
Can you get a thing on your leg or something like that?
Yeah, I can definitely get the half-month layoff, but I just think that sometimes people need it to make themselves better than they are.
I would suggest this. If you can get away from the probation officer and change it to your leg now.
I can't right now, but it's happening in the next 4 days, and my third thing is I can only do the best I can and say I'm so sorry, because I've never been more sad than I have in my life than the day I got arrested. You know what I mean? I've never felt worse about anything in my life. And this officer, like, they don't care in Sarasota, but they do care in Sarasota. It's just something that I found out. Sarasota probation officers here, they actually try to make your life better, and that's what I'm looking for. I want someone to make my life better. I want someone to push me to be better.
Who arrested you?
There was a cop that arrested me. I just want this.
A city cop or a cop?
It was just a cop, but I want someone to actually make me better than who I am now. I want someone to push me to be my best, and whether it's volunteering with homeless people or volunteering with animals, I want to be better on it. I want to be better.
Well, you have all the ammunition you want.
And I want to be better. We talked about, like, how I want to go back to school. This next year, I want to take these to the Khan Academy. I'm on the Khan Academy website. I did.
Good.
I went on.
What did you find?
I went on to the chemistry classes. I want to look into those, and then I want to go within the next year after I complete probation. I want to actually go back to USF and apply for this stuff with knowledge and just apply for. I want to do biomolecular cell biology and help with research with cell biology.
Well, we talked you have a couple of pathways. If you become knowledgeable about economics.
And the economics, like the entire 1930s and the 40s. I just watched Jojo Rabbit. Have you seen that movie? It's, my father, mind you, was born in 1940. Marcin Jankowski was born in 1940 to my grandmother, Victoria, who was from Chicago, but they moved here, or to Poland, when she was 13 years old. So she actually had my father during World War II. Jojo Rabbit was a movie where it's
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit! Have you seen that movie?
I've heard of it, I haven't
It's
seen
a little kid, and he's like, oh, my best friend is this
Rabbit.
Hitler. And then he finds a Jewish girl hiding in his apartment, and it's very cute how he goes, well, if I'm a youth group thing, and he's like, I can't just admit that I have you here. And he falls in love with this little Jewish girl. It's this little boy who's about 10 years old, and his mother's hiding this Jewish girl. And it's the most beautiful thing ever. And he's like, I can't tell them about you. I'm a little boy. And he's like, everyone, this entire camp is making fun of me because I blew myself up with a mortar. He literally threw a mortar and like comes back at him. He's like, oh no, my face. His mother gets hanged. His mother gets hanged for hiding this Jewish girl, and he's like, I'm in love with you, this Jewish girl. And then, next thing you know,
So the Nazis hung the mother.
the mother, because she was hiding this Jewish girl,
Sure.
was her son's friend. This movie actually, like, I just watched it 2 days ago, and
That's the title of the movie, Jojo Rabbit.
about Jojo Rabbit. And then at the end of the movie, the Allies win, obviously, because it's historically represented. And he tells the girl, like, you lost. And he's like, I'm sorry, you won. Like, he tries to tell her that she lost, but he's so in love with this, like, girl that, this little Jewish girl, he doesn't know how to deal with her, because he's like, if I'm German and you're Jewish, how do I deal with that? And it shows, like, how people love. It really broke my heart.
You have a huge heart.
It broke, like, my grandmother used to hide people. It just hurts my heart to see that.
Well, it happens in different ways at current time. Earlier I was talking to Skippy, and
I told you.
she's a great gal. So she brought up the fact that 3,000 children that are supposed to be in the cages are missing.
Yeah, I'm from that. So
that means the people that are abducting children, like Epstein and those, and maybe they're in on this as well, which means the Trump administration is winking and nodding and letting that go.
we should never let that go.
But the point is, what's with the American people? Why are the American people not willing to say, end those cages and get those people out? And they're not doing that. What's wrong with the American people?
Why are people so... to me, it's hatefulness, indifferent people. Either or.
Well, they're the same thing, actually. When you're indifferent, you can ignore someone who's on the street and with a broken body, and you walk by and say, oh, tough luck. Oh, you hit that car? Have at it. You just walk by, right? That's okay. No, it isn't okay. A human being doesn't do that.
Human beings see something get hurt and they care.
That's right. And you don't turn your back on the people as a leader of your country and excuse them because they're illegal. Nonsense. They're still human beings. But he treated them, talks about them like they're non-human. They're Hispanic. Alex is a Hispanic person. And he's no different than that same.
I'm sorry, you're a human to me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, how many people do I see in here that are humans to me?
That's our president. He's saying it's all right.
I don't even know what word to use from, like, I don't know, dunce? Dunce? That's not even a